Morning, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you to the Second Chance Summit right here at the beautiful Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, hosted by the Detroit Pistons. Thanks for being here today. Today is very special. It's a day-long summit that includes an expungement clinic and a resource fair supported by 50 organizations running from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. all day. There will also be a program featuring a panel discussion on proven pathways to second chances. That's taking place from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. What a special day, I should say. And to get us started, it's only right to bring up the vice chairman of the Detroit Pistons. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Arn Tellem.
Thank you all. Good morning and welcome to Little Caesars Arena. The Detroit Pistons organization is very pleased to host today's Second Chance Summit and proud to partner with the State of Michigan Attorney General, the City of Detroit, Project Clean Slate, Safe and Just Michigan, and the NBA Social Justice Coalition. I'd like to welcome some key allies and dignitaries with us here today. Our great mayor, Mayor Mike Duggan, Detroit Chief of Police, James White. I don't see him, but I know he's here. U.S. Attorney, Eastern District, Dawn Eisen. And from the NBA, Executive Director, NBA Social Justice Coalition, James Cadogan. James, nice to have you in here. And of course, Platinum Equity Partner and Detroit Pistons alternate governor, Mark Barnhill. Today marks the third event of this type that we have coordinated with Project Clean Slate, and we're pleased to have executed previous expungement programs at our games and at the Pistons Performance Center. Project Clean Slate is a City of Detroit initiative that helps residents expunge criminal convictions. Since 2018, they have helped over 1,200 residents get their criminal records expunged. With over 230 residents pre-screened to participate in today's event, we know that number will grow. There is great importance in giving citizens the opportunity to have their records expunged and providing a pathway to education, future jobs, and better opportunities. That is why we continue to partner with organizations and government agencies committed to this work. To speak further on the important work of rehabilitative justice and our commitment, please welcome Platinum Equity Partner and Detroit Pistons alternate governor, and my friend, most importantly, Mark Barnhill. Thank you.
Listen, thank you, Arn, and thank you all for being here today. As he noted, my name is Mark Barnhill. I'm here today representing a number of interests connected to Tom Gores, the Detroit Pistons, and Platinum Equity. I'm an executive leader, as Tom noted, on Tom's ownership team here in Detroit, with responsibilities at both the franchise level and at the league level as an alternate governor on the NBA's Board of Governors. More broadly, I'm an executive leader at Platinum Equity, the global investment firm headed by Tom with more than 50 portfolio companies worldwide, and that'll be relevant in a moment. I've been Tom's partner and friend for more than 20 years, building businesses that we hope make more than just products and services. We want them to make a difference in the communities they serve. And I'm proud to be here today wearing all of those hats. So the first question is, how do the Pistons connect to today's events? Well, listen, when we acquired this franchise more than a decade ago, Tom described the Pistons as a community asset that would be an active participant in the revitalization of Detroit and its surrounding communities. We've done that in myriad ways, including moving the team and its infrastructure downtown in this arena on game day, rehabilitating public courts and athletic facilities, building community centers, supporting schools and after-school programs, and partnering with other business, civic, and government agencies on a variety of community building efforts. Just 2 days ago, the Detroit City Council approved its support for and partnership in a multi-billion-dollar development headed by Henry Ford Health Systems, Michigan State University, Dan Gilbert, Tom Gores and the Pistons, and of course the mayor and other critical supporters to build a new modern hospital, healthcare, commercial and residential complex just a few blocks from here. So we're embedded in the community, committed to improving the economic and social well-being of Detroit. We're proud to be a sponsor of today's event, which is focused on some of the important tools that support rehabilitative justice and successful reentry into society by people who were formerly incarcerated. I'll defer to others who will speak here today to offer their thoughts on the importance of this event, to detail the specific run of play, and describe exactly what's happening here today, because it's interesting and it's important. But I want to tell you, bigger picture, that our commitment, Tom's and mine, and the organizations we represent, to rehabilitative justice and the programs that support it, runs deep across more than just today's event and the sponsorship of this forum. As many of you may know, our portfolio of operating companies includes a company called Aventive Technologies, formerly known as Securus Technologies. Prior to our ownership, the company was primarily a provider of telecommunications services inside prisons and jails. The most basic level, think about payphones on the walls and rudimentary phone and email connections between incarcerated individuals and their friends and family outside. Before we entered the picture, the company and the industry had been strongly criticized as predatory profiteers, taking advantage of a consumer population that skewed mostly poor and mostly minority. When we acquired the business, that criticism was redirected at us by folks who didn't want to believe that we were there as change agents, looking to transform the business and the industry. We just went to work, trusting that we could operate this business profitably and transform it with a focus on making a difference in the lives of the justice-impacted consumers it serves. And so we expanded products and services with an emphasis on technology, tools, and resources to help reduce America's 70% recidivism rate in its correction system. Along the way, we came to appreciate the importance of rehabilitative justice and reducing that recidivism rate. Think about it for a minute. Right now in America, there are somewhere around 1.9 million incarcerated people in prisons and jails across the country. Upon release, 4 in 10 will be reincarcerated within 1 year, and 7 in 10 within 3 years. Simply put, when inmates are released from prison or jail, the barriers to successful reentry are high. Difficulty securing employment is perhaps the highest barrier. Post-incarceration employment is the primary driver for whether or not someone returns to prison, and the stark reality is that nearly 2/3 of formerly incarcerated individuals are still jobless 6 months after their release. At Aventive, one of the things we focused on is providing technology tools that allow inmates access to education, job training, and other resources prior to reentry. For example, we've invested more than $400 million to deploy more than 600,000 tablets that allow inmates to access not only communication services, but access to education, job training, and other anti-recidivism tools. But we've also invested heavily in second chance and fair chance employment programs that provide jobs to inmates after they are released. 14% of Aventive's new hires, for example, in 2023 were fair chance hires. They were formerly incarcerated people who would come back into society and are now employed at Securus. We have a variety of fair chance hiring principles at Aventive. I won't read them off here now, but they involve fundamentally eliminating the stigma of incarceration that is a barrier to people becoming employed. We've also partnered with something called the Honest Jobs platform, which is a technology tool platform for people to access job availability who come from justice-influenced environments, people who have been formerly incarcerated and out. Happy to talk about that more offline with any of you all as well. The panel discussions this afternoon will focus on other examples of the importance of second chance and fair chance hiring programs in reducing recidivism, and the Michigan law that permits expungement, and today's actual expungement clinic represent another important vehicle for assisting in reentry. Our commitment to these kind of programs comes from the very top, from Tom Goras and his executive leadership teams, both at the Pistons and at Platinum, committed to being part of the solution to building better communities. Look forward to engaging more specifically today on the programs that are underway here and to taking your questions at the appropriate time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Arn. Thank you, Mark, for your leadership in this area. Speaking of leadership, I'm extremely delighted to bring up a person who is a consistent supporter of second chance policies. In fact, under his leadership, Project Clean Slate was launched in 2016. So please join me in welcoming the great mayor of the great city of Detroit, Mayor Mike Duggan.
Well, what a difference 10 years makes. 10 years ago in this city, the unemployment rate was 20%. And if you had a criminal record, you had almost no opportunities. You were the last hired, you were the first fired, you often couldn't find housing because the apartment owners were screening you out. You couldn't chaperone your kids on a school field trip because of the background checks. And if you were entitled to expungement because your offenses had been years ago, you had to hire your own lawyer who would charge you, on average, $5,000 to get that record expired. That wasn't an acceptable situation. And so as we started bringing jobs and companies back, it became obvious very quickly if Detroit was going to return, we needed the talent of every single Detroiter. We went to employer after employer and said, you need to loosen your hiring practices. People who have paid their debt, they're many of your best workers. They're going to be concerned about finding another job. They'll be on time. And company after company started to open their doors. And then we started Project Clean Slate with Carrie Jones and Stephanie LaBelle. And we said to Detroiters, we'll be your lawyer. You don't need to go hire that lawyer at $5,000. We will represent you and get your record expunged. And last year alone, these two expunged the records of 5,000 Detroiters who got a fresh start. I never thought, yeah, give the two of them, you two stand up. How they got 5,000 done, I don't think they had time to sleep. But to see the day 10 years ago where I would stand here and the U.S. Attorney, Dawn Eisen, would stand up and say, you have value, you have a great future, you have a second chance. They have the Attorney General, Dana Nessel. Prosecutor Kim Worthy's been enormously supportive of this. And to have the Pistons host this and say, this is a part of our values, that everybody deserves that chance. So over here, you have a whole room full of people getting their records expunged. Over there, you got a whole bunch of employers who are looking to employ folks every day. And so I walk in here and I think about where we were, and I think about where we are right now. Our economy, our future is on the rise, and every single Detroiter has a chance now to be a part of it. And Pistons, thank you very much for hosting us today.
Thank you, Mayor Duggan. Thoughtful second chance policies are good for our communities and families and for public safety. We're fortunate to join forces on several community engagement projects, including today's summit. Here to say a few remarks, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, please welcome Dawn Eisen. Good.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I believe in second chances. I believe that people should be positioned so that they can take full advantage of their second chances. And so I stand here today thanking the Detroit Pistons, thanking all of our partners, the city of Detroit, and all of our partners here for affording an opportunity for people to be positioned to take a second chance. I'm much like Brian Stevenson, who wrote Just Mercy and the founder of Equal Justice Institute. I believe, and our One Detroit Partnership believes, that we are more than the worst thing we have ever done. And I say all of us, because all of us have made mistakes. So I appreciate the opportunity for folks to come here and remove what is a serious barrier for people to become productive, because in my line of work at the U.S. Attorney's Office and all the great attorneys who work there to help me with this work, we believe that people should be afforded these resources so that they can be productive. Because for every returning citizen, for every person who has been impacted by the justice system, if we remove barriers for them and make them productive citizens and help them not to reoffend, then we are making the community safer. And so we're going to do, and that's my job. So we're going to do everything we can to do that. I appreciate that people make choices and they have consequences. But I also believe that we, as I said, have an obligation to help them with those resources so that they can remove barriers. I just want to share one story. The mayor knows that we are engaged in this work. Our One Detroit partnership includes 3 pillars. It's enforcement, prevention, and reentry. And we are doing this same kind of work, and I'm just so grateful, and I'm sure the mayor is too, that so many other people are engaging in this same kind of work that will make our community better. But I want to tell you a story about something. Under our reentry pillar, we do roundtables with returning citizens and citizens who have been impacted by the justice system. And we bring them to forums. These are people on federal probation, federal supervised release, state probation, and other folks. And we have Nation Outside, for example, I see they're here, and other justice-impacted individuals who help us in this work to come and talk to these individuals so that they can give them the real talk and tell them how they can succeed on the outside. And so we're grateful for that partnership. But we also tell them to invite their family members so that the resources that we have there, which include Goodwill Industries, Black Family Development, the resources that we have there can help families and give them guidance on how they can best support these individuals so that they can be successful. And I have a success story for you. I would be remiss if I didn't share this one with you. We had a young man who came to one of those roundtables in September, and he was there and he was able to connect with Goodwill Industries. And then after that, he engaged in therapy. They, you know, if you don't know, Goodwill Industries has a Flip the Script program, which is a great welding program that they have there. And people can come out, they get a certificate, a national certificate in welding, and then they have employers who are right there ready to employ these people. So he got with the counselors at Goodwill Industries, and just maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was at Goodwill Industries' new location in Oakland County, and they were celebrating this young man because he came to our roundtable in September of 2023, and he has now achieved his GED. He is enrolled in their welding program, and he is enrolled in Wayne State University and majoring in social work. And that's the kind of stories we want to hear. He is a child who was in the foster care system since he was an infant, and then he was a ward of the state at 16. And when I saw him, I actually had participated in the roundtable where he was. When I saw him, I said exactly what the mayor just said to you. I told him, you finally realize that you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. And I'm just so proud and honored to support this effort and all of the partners here to make all of these people, all the attorneys that are offering their time, make all these people feel they are worthy, and they deserve our support. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your life-changing work, U.S. Attorney Eisen. Thank you. Our final speaker is a partner to the Pistons and to teams all around the NBA. To offer his final remarks, please welcome the Executive Director for the National Basketball Social Justice Coalition, Mr. James Cadogan.
Morning, everybody. I want to first say thank you to the Pistons organization, to Mark, to Arn, to the City of Detroit, Mayor Duggan, U.S. Attorney Eisen for their support and partnership in advancing second chances. And one of the things that I think is important for folks to understand, those who don't know the Social Justice Coalition, we are the advocacy arm of the NBA community. The work that we do is designed to bring NBA stakeholder voices across the country to the policy issues and the justice issues that unite us. We were born out of a moment of turmoil in 2020 when we were having a reawakening on racial justice throughout this country and around the world. And the NBA community came together, players, governors, executives, coaches, and decided that we could do more. And so they created this Social Justice Coalition to be here to support teams like the Pistons when they are taking on the justice issues that will impact the community, that will make a difference in people's lives. And so we couldn't be more proud to be here today with you all. Our issues are voting rights, community safety, policing reform, and criminal justice. And today, to be in a position to see the collaboration between employers, impacted individuals, the city, the state, and the Great Detroit Pistons organization, that is the highest and best expression of what we can do in the NBA family. To take sports media and entertainment that we all love so much and make sure that we are doing everything we can to provide for our fans, for our communities, and for those we care about. One of the questions that I get most of all, and this started back in 2021 when I first took this job, a rookie transition program in Summer League asked me, what happens after your moment of protest? What happens and what do we do next? What's the thing that we have to look forward to? And to me, that's one of the questions that we try to keep at the fore of what we do for the Social Justice Coalition. The answer to that is right here. When we are able to marshal these kinds of resources to give life to a policy idea and make it real, that is the work of justice. So often, we end up thinking about the abstract, which is important, the ideas that we want justice, we want criminal justice, we want reform, but so few people understand what it takes to make that real, the mechanics of putting on an event like this and providing resources in the community that will actually make a difference in people's lives. Every single person here today understands that process, understands that work, and understands that investment. And we at the Coalition couldn't be more proud to be a part of this, and we're going to continue doing that work to make those ideals real, to be a part of those mechanics, and to drive justice for as many people as we can across the country and in NBA markets throughout our league. Thank you very much for all that you are doing, and we look forward to partnering with you going forward.
All right, thank you, James. And to all of our distinguished guests and speakers, thank you again. And to those who are supporting these initiatives, thank you, thank you, thank you. And before we kind of disperse, can we please get just a nice photo with all of us on stage, or all of you on stage? I'll move the podium and let's take this moment in, please.